A synagogue shooting. The suspect in the worst attack on the Jewish community in American history answers to charges.
What police are saying after a boy tests positive for meth after his parents say he went trick-or-treating.
And we'll ask Mike Davis if it will be a dark and stormy night for Halloween.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 5.
Prosecutors are pursuing the death penalty against this man. Robert Bowers is accused of killing 11 congregants in a hate-filled attack on a Pittsburgh synagogue.
Police say he opened fire at the Tree of Life congregation in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Many consider it the Jewish hub of Pittsburgh. CNN's Camilla Bernal is there. Camilla?
Even though the suspect appeared in court today, the focus here at the Tree of Life Synagogue is on the victims, those 11 people that were killed. They were people who were at their services bright and early, the ones who raised their hands to volunteer to help. And you can tell that they were a key part of this community just from the amount of people that are coming to pay their respects, to pray together, to sing together, to remember the lives lost, and to show that this community is united despite the tragedy.
My office charged Robert Bowers with federal murder and assault charges relative to the horrific acts of violence he committed at the Tree of Life Synagogue.
Handcuffed and in a wheelchair, the man accused of gunning down members of the synagogue made his first court appearance in Pittsburgh Monday. The alleged gunman, Robert Bowers, was injured in a firefight with police at the Tree of Life Synagogue Saturday and was released from the hospital shortly before appearing in court. The suspect faces 29 federal charges in the shooting death of 11 people. He was initially represented by public defenders.
We will have the opportunity to present evidence demonstrating that Robert Bowers murdered 11 people who were exercising their religious beliefs and that he shot or injured 6 others, including 4 of whom were police officers responding to the shooting.
One of the rabbis leading his congregation at the synagogue Saturday morning told CNN about the moment he realized he heard gunfire and how he tried to save as many of his members as he could.
Quickly tried to usher them up to the front, out some doors in the front, towards exits or towards a closet, someplace that they could hide, someplace safe.
Despite the hateful act, he insists the synagogue will reopen stronger than before.
Tree of Life has been in Pittsburgh for 154 years. We're not going anywhere. I will not let hate close down my building.
And the U.S. attorney also announcing that Bowers will be held without bond. He said he has a team of prosecutors diligently working to ensure that justice is done. Reporting live in Pittsburgh, I'm Camila Bernal. Now back to you.
Camila, thank you. Now, Bowers was treated by Jewish staff at the hospital. Friends and family described the 11 people killed in the shooting as loving, caring, and pillars of the community. The youngest was 54, the oldest 97. They include a married couple, 2 brothers, and a doctor, all beloved by their synagogue and neighborhood.
And many houses of worship are now developing safety teams and putting members through crisis training. And the statistics show why. 10 TV's Shelby Croft visited a Central Ohio church that is taking action.
It just tears me up.
Joel Reed is shaken, thinking about the rabbi who knew his worshipers were targets as he tried his best to help them. Joel leads the congregation of Fairfield Christian Church.
There's so much that rides on the safety of this whole entire building in regards to my family, so that's really important.
Joel grew up in the church. He and his wife both work here now, and their daughters attend the K-12 school. 2 years ago, church leaders started looking seriously at safety. The Parkland, Florida tragedy took it further. It's
called us to step up whatever we're doing.
We have a daycare, we have a school, we have a church. We've got people in and out of here all the time, and we feel it's our duty to protect them the best that we can.
We have a safety team.
That team of volunteers is trained for crisis situations. They're placed at church entrances and around the building.
We're constantly looking out for people, like I said, anomalies, people who are out of place, things that are out of place.
Church entrances aren't open all the time. During the week, this is the only way in and out through the school, and it's highly monitored.
We have a lot of cameras.
Dozens throughout the church and school. But Joel and the team know it's all a balancing act.
We don't want anyone to feel like this isn't a place where they can come if they have any type of need. It's difficult to maintain that, both keeping everything safe, but then also making sure that it's a welcoming place.
The church has had trainings through Strategos, which specializes in attack preparedness. The company says in 2004 there were just 4 church attacks. Last year there were 261. They do numerous trainings weekly all over the nation.
Having the right mindset is the most important thing.
In Lancaster, Shelby Croft, 10 TV News.
We wanted to know how often Ohioans report hate crimes. The answer might surprise you. An FBI report on hate crimes puts the Buckeye State as number 3 in the country for the highest number of reported hate crime incidents, behind California and New York. Lawmakers say keep in mind 5 states, including Indiana, have failed to pass hate crime legislation. 10 TV has reported on several hate crime investigations this year. Columbus City prosecutor Zach Klein says the city ordinance is even stronger than state law. It includes sexual orientation, military status, and disability, to name a few.
We actually have a broader group of folks that we want to protect under the ethnic intimidation law because of just how intolerable it is for our community and how seriously we take these crimes.
We dug deeper into the FBI's report to reveal Columbus police investigate more reports of hate crime incidents than Cleveland and Cincinnati combined. Prosecutors explain why ahead at 6.
Also new tonight, police say a child tested positive for methamphetamine. This child here after his parents say he went trick-or-treating. The father says the little boy started having some sort of seizure. 10 TV's Brian Somerville is following this story in Mount Gilead. Brian?
Good evening. Well, I'm in Mount Gilead because I just talked with the boy's mother, Julia Pence, who says this is sad. The fact that she says this is what Halloween and trick-or-treating has come to. Now, Pence says this happened yesterday. They were trick-or-treating in Galion, about 20 minutes away, when after they got home, he started to have what they thought was a seizure. The boy, 5-year-old Braylon, taken to the hospital where Pence says after a series of tests, including a CAT scan and a urine analysis, Braylon tested positive for methamphetamine. This photo showing him in the hospital bed. He stayed there for 6-7 hours yesterday. I also had the chance to talk with Braylon. He and Pence told me he hadn't eaten any of the candy that he collected, but what he did put in his mouth was a set of those plastic vampire teeth. He told me he did that twice, and then he went to put his socks on, and that's when he started to feel shivery. Now, law enforcement has taken the candy that was at that house in Galion. They have taken that to a testing facility. The family says they expect to hear more on the results of that coming up in the next couple of days. For now, Pence says this is very much a lesson for all parents to check, double check, and then recheck your child's goodie bag after a night of trick-or-treating before they put anything in their mouth. Now, tonight at 11, we're going to have more with Braylon and with his mother. It's an interview you do not want to miss. Live in Mount Gilead tonight, Brian Somerville, 10 TV News.
Thank you, Brian. That is a frightening story. Well, allegations on a school bus so shocking, the bus driver has reportedly asked for time to cope. A Logan County teen is accused of raping a 6-year-old girl. The incident allegedly happened last Wednesday in Bell Fountain, and the 15-year-old boy goes to Benjamin Logan High School. Tonight, parents are receiving letters about the incident from district leaders. Police took the teen into custody, and he is at the Logan County Juvenile Detention Center.
Groveport Madison High School was briefly locked down today because of this. This video shows a number of students involved in an incident early this morning. Groveport police say the number of kids actually fighting was approximately 6 to 8. The fight stemmed from some sort of Halloween party that happened over the weekend. Investigators say 2 15-year-olds will likely be charged with disorderly conduct and fighting.
Well, the Buckeyes are back on the field this Saturday after a much-needed week off.
That's right, but some are focusing attention on the team's head coach. What Urban Meyer is saying about the rumors that he is considering retirement.
And the rain moving out. You know what? We had a couple of rainy days here, so we're catching up a little bit in October. But some showers up in Richland County just south of Mansfield this evening, and also a little bit to the north and east of Coshocton. How's it moving out there tonight? It's kind of streaming down to the south and east and gradually fading. And the rainfall totals were much less today. About 500s out at the airport, 800s at Lancaster on the high end of things. Nothing reported thus far today down in Chillicothe. Right now, we got a little bit of sun, a little bit of blue, and 54 degrees. But we could do much, much better. I'll have a look at that and also your forecast for trick-or-treating all coming up.
We are back with Campaign 2018 now, and with just 8 days until the midterm elections, Democrats and Republicans are bringing a lot of star power to the Buckeye State.
Today, former Vice President Joe Biden is campaigning for gubernatorial candidate Richard Cordray. This is video of them visiting students this morning on the OSU campus. And right now, we're going to take a live look. This is a rally now underway in Youngstown, where Biden is addressing Cordray supporters. You can watch his address to voters right now on 10TV.com or on the 10TV Facebook page.
The President Trump 2020 re-election campaign is spending $6 million on broadcast and digital commercials ahead of next week's midterm election. This one-minute commercial focuses on the country's low employment rate and warns that it could go away if voters don't elect Republicans next Tuesday. The commercial flashes back to 2010 to show tougher times, but it should also be noted that the country was recovering from a financial crisis that began during the Bush administration. You can make informed decisions before Election Day with our 10 TV and Columbus Dispatch Voters Guide. Learn all about the races and the issues on the ballot at 10tv.com/voters guide. A cell phone, a snapshot, and some serious charges.
And some teenagers are learning the consequences too late.
And I just think hopefully that they will take it seriously, because there's so many things that we learned today that we had no idea about.
Coming up new at 5:30, Crime Tracker 10's Angela Ann uncovers the secret world of sextortion.
But first, after problems on and off the field this season, Urban Meyer addresses rumors about his future as Ohio State's head football coach.
New tonight, the Cleveland Browns will soon be looking for a new coach. Today, the team fired Hugh Jackson. Jackson only won 3 games in his 2+ seasons. His firing came a day after the Browns lost their 25th straight road game. Defensive coordinator Greg Williams will serve as interim coach. Also tonight, OSU's head coach is talking about his future with Ohio State.
Urban Meyer spoke to news reporters today after a bye week. And Dom DeBerry joins us now. The Buckeyes need to rally after that tough loss to Purdue, don't they?
Yeah, it's circle to wagon time, and you know, November's here. That's when championships are won, but there have been rumors swirling of late concerning the future of Coach Urban Meyer. Some have gone as far to say the coach was going to retire at the end of the season. There have been reports of possible tension between coach and the athletic department, while others cited his health. Today, Coach Meyer put those rumors to rest, saying he is not stepping down at Ohio State.
I plan on coaching. You plan on coaching? Yes. Can you say for sure you'll be back next year at Ohio State? Yes.
As you can see, it was clear Coach really didn't want to get into that stuff, and it was even more clear that he's focused on just one thing, beating Nebraska on Saturday. He knows that November is upon us. November is when championships are won, and at the end of the day, you know, let me just say this about Coach Meyer. He is not a warm and fuzzy guy on that kind of stuff.
No.
He is focused on one thing, winning this game. And, you know, we have seen this team respond after such situations. I mean, you know, Buckeye Nation obviously feeling bummed about the Purdue game, but this guy's won a lot of football games at Ohio State, and I don't think he's going anywhere.
And that's all they want him to do, is to win. Right?
Right.
Win games.
It's like Coach Coop used to say, you're only as good as your last win.
Yeah, that's true. So
thanks a lot.
Thanks,
He's
Tom.
right. Mike Davis, you're only as good as your last forecast.
He knows it. And he's got a tougher job than I do by far, so a lot more criticism. But let's take a look ahead, and after you hear the Halloween forecast, yeah, you may be a little critical. Tonight, look at the low clouds just skimming the city, just kind of going right over the top of the skyscrapers downtown. So a little overcast. It'll partially clear tonight. Tonight is going to be chilly, but tomorrow, anything but. So what we're tracking right now is some clearing overnight tonight. It is going to be chilly with temperatures down in the mid to upper 30s, so some areas again could see some patchy frost. Tomorrow, though, pick of the week, beautiful day, temperatures in the 60s. We were talking about this last Friday night, that it really looked like some of the models were trending to much, much warmer early to middle part of the week. That is all going to come true. Unfortunately, the ghosts and the ghouls and the goblins are all going to be out on Halloween, meaning it is going to be not so nice. We kind of have the trick rather than the treat in terms of the forecast. Right now, we've got some light showers up here in Richland County. They're moving to the southeast. There's Mansfield. They're heading down. They'll graze Belleville a little bit, move to the south and east. And this stuff is going to stay well away from Coshocton. In fact, it's fading. It's going to move into Tuscarawas County and kind of dissipate as we go through the night. So again, you see these little showers moving away from us. Had some stormy weather. Reports a little small hail in the vicinity yesterday. 54 degrees out right now. That's not bad. West winds at 10. No wind chill. The humidity is about 60%. As we look at temperatures around the state, you've got mainly 50s, but a few 40s off the east. Coshocton just 49. Cambridge 48, but Caldwell rock bottom there at 47, which for this time of year is certainly below average. Looking ahead at tonight, partly cloudy, much cooler. Temperatures in the mid-30s in the morning. A south wind 5 to 10, but that's going to bring in warmer air during the day tomorrow. So you've got a big system out west. Not a lot in our part of the country, but the showers are moving off the east. A little bit of snow coming out of Canada with some cool air. But for us, nice changes heading this way, at least briefly, as high pressure builds in, dries us out to start the week. Should have a lovely day coming up tomorrow. Sunshine, nice southerly breeze. It gets a little breezier as we head toward the afternoon and evening. By late tomorrow night and going into, unfortunately, Halloween, Wednesday, you've got a cold front moving in. It'll turn kind of spooky and rainy as we go into. So is it going to be a dark and stormy Halloween? It kind of looks like it is. Showers and possibly even some heavy rain as the system moves in and then stalls over the area. So it'll affect us both Wednesday and Thursday, kind of hanging around. So we'll have some waves of pretty good rain. In fact, it's going to accumulate quite a bit as we go through the next couple of days, to the tune of maybe 1 to 3 inches in many areas. So that is a good soaking rain. We've been saying for weeks now that October has been very dry, even for the driest month of the year. It's about to make a turnaround as we get toward the last day. So as we look at our model, streaming clouds off to the north tonight, but pretty quiet, maybe a few patchy clouds in the morning. That clears out. We get into some sunshine at noon, clouds off to the west. Late in the day, plenty of sunshine too with clouds off to the north, but as we head toward Wednesday, things start to cloud up and the showers move back in. So for trick or treat, rainy, breezy, and warm, 64 degrees. That's a good Halloween temperature. More of that for Wednesday and Thursday. We cool off just a little bit, about 57. Morning low pretty mild at 49. Lesser chance for showers Friday and into Saturday, about a 30% shot. Sunday looks like our next completely dry day. Monday, though, the showers come back. Doppler 10-day outlook, low to mid-50s continue. Morning lows dropping back into the 40s throughout the course of next week. But the next couple of days, at least, very warm. Tomorrow looks like the pick of the litter, guys.
The pick of the litter. Is that what you said?
I did.
Pick of the litter? Okay, got it. All right, thanks. Some breaking news out of Washington to bring you. The Defense Department says it's sending 5,200 active duty troops to the U.S.-Mexico border as a migrant caravan makes its way through Mexico. 800 troops are already on the way. All of those troops will be there by the end of the week. The Trump administration says it will turn away any migrants trying to enter the U.S. You'll hear more from the president ahead at 5:30.
America is rallying around the people of Pittsburgh.
And tonight at 6, a local woman with strong ties to this latest tragedy.
And I thought, if only my husband had been here, at least, you know, someone to just hold on to.
And she never told us that she knew.
The pain she feels, the victims of the synagogue massacre.
And next, that's not a bookmark, the hundreds of dollars discovery at a Columbus library. New tonight, a wild discovery in a library book. Workers at the Columbus Library branch on Carl Road opened up a copy of the book, The Babysitter's Club, and found $1,000. Yeah, this picture is a reenactment of their big discovery. One of the workers got a hold of the last customer, and that person said her grandmother accidentally put the money inside the book. The cash has since been returned. So luckily they found it, not just some random person at the library, but
I
maybe
know.
they wouldn't have returned it.
Yeah, Grandma, let's put that in the bank.
Yeah.
Safer.
Maybe she was using it for a bookmark and forgot. Who knows?
Tracy Townsend joins us now with what's new at 5:30.
Well, Jerry, coming up at 5:30, Ohio getting even more aggressive on cracking down on distracted drivers. So you could be in for a first. There was an overnight change in the law. Straight ahead, we're going to tell you about that. It could, again, get you pulled over for the first time. That's coming up.
The law isn't going to see it as a joke.
Crime Tracker 10 shows us how sexting can lead young people down a dark path.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 5:30.
Now at 5:30, sexting and your students, a crime that takes barely a second to commit. It's when kids exchange sexually explicit photos or videos over a cell phone. What teens today don't realize is that sexting can lead down a dangerous and dark path. Thank you for joining us for 10 TV News at 5:30. I'm Tracy Townsend.
And I'm Jerry Revis. The FBI says sextortion is the fastest growing crime facing kids today. Crime Tracker 10's Angela Ann explains why.
These students at Reynoldsburg Encore Academy are about to get a lesson they've never heard before, the side effects of sexting.
Now, I get a lot of questions, what is a naked picture?
Before the presentation, we sat down with a few students to see how much they knew, and they knew quite a lot.
What do you guys know about sexting?
Okay, boys will just randomly hit you up and just be like, how are you tonight? Or like weird stuff, and they'll be like, let me see you. Like, how are you, what are you wearing and stuff like that.
Like, I've had like friends that like talk to me about it. I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. That's just, you're gonna get in trouble for that. And I'll be like, if you don't delete that, I mean, I'm gonna have to say something because that's just not right.
It's kind of sad to say that it's not very taboo at our age, even from like young ages, like 7th grade, 8th grade, like way back in middle school.
Even my little sister is asking my mom, can I have an Instagram? Can I have a Twitter? Can I have a Snapchat? And like, that's like the reason we don't want to let her have one.
Because you're afraid of what she might see.
Yeah.
Sexting is so widespread today, the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office has dedicated a team to talk directly to students. In the past 4 years, 81 juveniles have been charged with a crime related to sexting in Franklin County. Some of them are as young as 11 years old.
I don't think kids, and that's because they're kids, really think of the consequences of that, and also don't look down the road that if the person that they think they love now at age 16, if they decide to break up and there's hard feelings, what could result if it was spread around to friends, relatives, and other students at the school, which unfortunately that kind of thing has happened.
Prosecutor Ron O'Brien says a bigger danger is what sexting can lead to, another crime known as sextortion, where those images can be held for blackmail to gain more sexual photos from the victim. In fact, the FBI says between July and August this year, it received an additional 13,000 complaints about sextortion scams over the previous months. It is a term these teens never heard of, but clearly witnessed.
I talked to one of the girls who got exposed, and she's like, I had sent that picture so long ago. So now I think I understand what you mean.
Prosecutor Ron O'Brien says there's also this.
We have in adults primarily seen what is generally called revenge porn, where people who have consensually created material, exchanged it, and then break up, and that is passed around to other Facebook friends or relatives, and that can be a problem as well.
Which is why prosecutors are hoping to start the education process early, even at the middle school level. They simply say, don't do it. We watched as students immediately started pulling out their cell phones and deleting photos the more they learned.
So if you have naked pictures of your boyfriend or girlfriend, every night while you're sleeping, those pictures get saved online to mom's cloud account. All right, something that she can access, something that the people who create these cloud accounts can access.
I was astonished. There's so many things that we have no idea about. Now, hopefully, we'll be more hesitant to think 3 times, not twice, think 3 times before you send anything, or ask anything, even if it's a joke, because it's not a joke.
What's not a joke is what sexting can also lead to. Besides bullying and humiliation, look at the penalties. Being charged with a felony, jail time, or even being labeled a juvenile sex offender. The prosecutor's office takes this crime seriously. They've given this presentation upwards of 50 times during a school year. We have a link for more information under Crime Tracker 10 at 10tv.com.
Authorities say sextortion can happen quickly and quietly. Many will target victims through social media and video games like Fortnite. Other cases have shown neighbors threatening harm to someone they love if they don't receive explicit photos. If you know or you think someone in your family might need help, look for our story at 10tv.com/Crime Tracker 10.
New at 5:30, the Franklin County coroner says a gunshot wound to the chest is what killed a woman shot by a Columbus police officer during a prostitution sting. The Franklin County coroner also ruled 23-year-old Donna Castleberry's death was a homicide. Columbus police say Castleberry was shot by Officer Andrew Mitchell on August 23rd after she attacked him with a knife. The coroner's report said Castleberry was shot 3 times and had cocaine and fentanyl in her system. At the time of the shooting, Mitchell was already the focus of separate criminal investigations by his own department. Mitchell is on leave while his department and the FBI investigate. On Friday, 10 Investigates found Mitchell receives extra police protection while on leave. Also, the rental properties he owns have been linked to more than 500 criminal complaints.
About 3 dozen former students have joined a federal lawsuit against a former Ohio State University doctor. Richard Strauss allegedly abused students before taking his own life in 2005. Tonight, additional students say OSU officials knew about the abuse and did nothing to stop it. Ohio State says it's not ignoring the allegations and that the school says it's committed to finding the truth. Distracted drivers beware.
A new law is in effect tonight. The new rules of the road and the fines you could face.
And they won the World Series, but will they go all the way to the White House? Words from the manager of the Red Sox.
But first, text messages from a tragedy. A son's messages to his mother as gunfire erupts at his school. Right now, a frantic search is underway for plane crash survivors. A flight carrying nearly 200 people disappeared from radar overnight, slamming into the ocean off the coast of Indonesia. Underwater robots are searching the ocean floor tonight. The main wreckage has yet to be found, but crews have found 6 bodies. Parents rushed to pick up their kids after gunfire rang out in their hallways. One student did not survive.
It's one of our students who was the shooter. So first of all, our hearts go out to the larger community and to all of the young people who witnessed this tragedy.
That's the superintendent of the school district in Matthews, North Carolina, which is 12 miles from Charlotte. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from some sort of conflict. And a mother shared these text messages from her students. One message read, "We are all running for our lives." Another, "I never ran so fast."
The U.S. Department of Defense says 5,200 troops are getting ready to deploy to the border with Mexico in response to that large group of migrants traveling north. The president tweeted a warning today. It reads in part, quote, "This is an invasion of our country and our military is waiting for you." President Trump says there are, quote, "gang members and bad people in the caravan." He offered no evidence of that claim. Will the World Series winning Red Sox visit the White House? The manager says they will talk about it. White House visits have been controversial in recent years. The president called off the Eagles' Super Bowl visit when he realized a small number of players would be attending. Well, they want to rock and roll all night.
Where have we heard that before? Right. And party in Columbus, when Chris is performing in Central Ohio as part of its final tour.
Make that kiss.
Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't talk right now. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the weather outside. We've got clouds rolling on through, streaming on by, but they're going to clear out a little bit tonight, and it's going to be a nicer day tomorrow. Go up to Heath, Newark, and you know what the difference the light makes? Look at the trees, don't look like much, and then all of a sudden you get some sunshine, and you see those beautiful fall colors. Well, where does that come from? They're always in the leaves, but of course you have to stop producing the chlorophyll for the color to show through. But what you need to make a good season is plenty of rain during the growing season. Ching! Had that. You also need lots of sun and cool nights in September. It's been until October. That's why we're kind of late this year. And then this is a borderline call. Lack of strong winds and heavy rain in October, which of course knocks the leaves out of the tree. We'll go on that, although we do have some of that coming our way, and that will take a bit of a toll. So what we're tracking right now is clearing skies tonight. It's going to be chilly tonight, but tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. Warmest day of the week. We're back in the 60s. Take a look at what Halloween looks like. All coming up.
Sound effects, Mike Davis. And next, the power to pull you over. The new law now in effect and the punishment facing distracted drivers.
In campaign 2018 tonight, former Vice President Joe Biden just finished a rally in Youngstown. He's in our state to support Democrat Richard Cordray in his bid for governor. But Biden also delivered a message of unity.
Before we are Democrats or Republicans or independents, it sounds corny, but before that, we're Americans. No, I mean for real.
You can see a full report on 10 TV News tonight at 11.
Well, it just got a lot easier for police to charge you with distracted driving. In the past, an officer had to prove a driver was texting. Well, that changes under a new state law that went into effect today. Now, law enforcement only has to prove a moving violation and that the driver was distracted at the time. There are also some higher fines, and drivers will have to take a distracted driving course as well. It's a 60-minute course through the Ohio Department of Public Safety. It reminds drivers that texting is far from the only way to drive distracted. It can also include eating or even daydreaming behind the wheel.
Last year, 10 TV's Dom Tiberi testified in support of this law. As you know, he lost his daughter Maria in a distracted driving crash. He wants to prevent that from happening to your family. And Dom is here with us now. That law is in effect on our roads. Very important to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, none of this seems real. I mean, it's 5 years now, and it still seems like, wow, is this really happening? But, you know, I want to thank Governor John Kasich for signing the law. Thank you to State Rep Jim Hughes for writing the bill and, you know, leading the charge to make it become a law. And then all those that voted for it, the state reps and the senators, you know, it is a step in the right direction. I think we need to make Ohio hands-free, and you know that's the next step. We need to get the electronic devices out of everyone's hands, and you know they just passed a law in Georgia doing it, and unfortunately it's become an epidemic. I think we're about to see our insurance rates go up in Ohio, and I think that's going to have an effect on what happens here. But it is an epidemic. We're losing our youngest and our brightest, and it affects everyone amongst all age groups. Car crashes is a third leading killer, and you know while the statistics sometimes don't tell the whole story, the fact is many and most of the crashes we see are due to some kind of distraction. And you know, as parents, we need to take the responsibility to do a better job of educating our kids, because little eyes are in the back seat and they're watching us as we do it, and we're all guilty of it, and we're all guilty of some kind of distraction. And you're right, it could be anything from putting makeup on to combing our hair to have an electronic device. And we need to just drive the car and get from point A to point B safely, and that's all it's about. None of this is about me or, well, you know, and you know, Maria. We can't do anything about that, but we don't want to see anyone else go through this nightmare, and it's a nightmare for my wife Terry and I. We as humans are not built to bury our children, and we just don't want to see any of you join this sick club. And for those of you that are living this nightmare with us, and I don't care how you lose your child, we're not supposed to do it, and you know what I'm talking about. You never heal from it. And we just don't want any other families to go through this.
And you're going to be speaking again on this subject tomorrow?
Yeah, the Maria school visits, we're back at it. I'm going to be at Mechanicsburg High School tomorrow, and we're going to keep going. If you're watching us now and you want me to come to your child's high school, we're happy to do it. Just have your principal contact us here at 10 TV, and we will do it. We've been to 102 high schools, over 90,000 kids, and we will continue that. But I can't stress enough to mom and dad out there, we need to set a better example for our children.
It's important message. Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
The Ohio State University has been chosen to lead a national study on health disparities among same-sex partners. Researchers say they know their quality of health lags behind other Americans, but they don't know why. That's what Ohio State researchers will spend 5 years trying to figure out. They also say they will put an emphasis on recruiting racial and ethnic minorities in their studies. Bowling Green State University will also be helping out in that particular study. Jerry?
All right, thanks a lot. Our Skyview camera captured the sun fighting off the clouds this morning. Here's what we saw over downtown Columbus from about 8 to 11 this morning. The clouds and the sunshine seem to be fighting for attention. So, Mike Davis, who won?
Well, I think it was kind of a 50-50. I could call it a draw today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, sun hands down.
Oh, good.
Going to win. So tomorrow we have a lovely day. And can you take a day in the 60s? Would it be all right with you?
It's good.
Okay, I figured you
it's
could
good.
prove.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. He'll deal with it. Let's take a look outside. Hopefully you will be able to too. The rain has moved out for today. There were some showers well off to the east. They're all very light. They're falling apart, moving away from us. So that little bit that was up near Mansfield, there's actually one little cell north of there, but as you get down toward Loudonville, crossing over into Ashland County, just light rain, and the stuff that was by Coshocton and Newcomerstown, gone. So you see, that's just actually a false echo up there in the northern part of Mansfield. We get that interference line from somebody's probably errant cell phone tower. As we look out tonight, 54 degrees, west winds at 10. You know, we have the only live radar in town, but every once in a while you pick up a live couple of days. But as the rain continues to fall in many areas, we could see as much as 1 to 3 inches of rain accumulating over the vicinity. So it looks like it's going to be kind of a soggy couple of days, not tomorrow, but beginning Wednesday and continuing into Thursday, with all this gradually tapering off as we go into Friday. So it then does quiet down. But on the other side of the coin, it cools off dramatically. 11 o'clock tonight, some scattered clouds off to the northeast. Everybody is dry, and there could be, the model throws in a few wispy clouds in the morning. If this happens, it might keep the lows a tiny little bit warmer than we're going for tonight. Finding forecasting based on the clearing overnight, or at least partial clearing, of about 37. Noon tomorrow, we still have plenty of sun, some wispy clouds off to the north. Still looking good at 5 o'clock. So a nice dry day, plenty of sunshine, but then you begin to see where that rain's going to come from. This time from the northwest, that frontal stall, and keep us soggy from Halloween on into Thursday. So I guess it's the trick rather than the treat. But on the plus side, I remember a lot of very cold Halloweens, too. So maybe take an umbrella, cover the costume. You're not going to be freezing out there with temperatures in the 60s and gradually falling. Doppler 10 7-day outlook, a couple of days in the 60s. Thursday, we're starting to cool off, but it's a very mild morning of 49, a daytime high of 57. Friday, we might get a shower in the morning with a high of 52, maybe even a stray shower for Saturday, high of 50. We bounce back. The next kind of dry day, completely dry day, looks to be Sunday. And then the Doppler 10 10-day outlook, low to mid-50s, the early to middle part of next week, with morning lows in the mid to upper 40s, so either average or a little bit above average. But kind of a bummer for Halloween, but it looks great out there tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Mike. Yolanda's here now to tell us about the big stories you'll see at 6.
Well, tonight we are tackling hate and what it's really doing to our country as a whole. Now, the crimes most common in Ohio and why some areas see more hate-based violence than others. And the Jewish community stretches past Pittsburgh and brings back painful memories for people right here in Ohio.
It hit home. It hit home that they could be so close to what I had.
Coming up new at 6, the advice a Holocaust survivor has for a community struggling to understand the tragedy.
Kohl's has gotten the green light to open a new distribution center in Central Ohio.
It'll create about 700 full-time jobs in Licking County, specifically Edna Township, east of Columbus, as you see on this map. The state announced today it approved a tax credit for the building. No word exactly when it'll open.
Kiss is coming to Columbus for its End of the Road tour. The band says this will be the ultimate celebration for those who've seen them and a last chance for those who have not. The band will be at Nationwide Arena on March 16th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. By the way, Fleetwood Mac is at Nationwide Arena next Wednesday. Cher stops by on February 10th, and then Mumford & Sons performs on March 11th.
Can't say we don't have entertainment in Columbus.
Yeah, with some really great acts coming in.
Yeah.
Some more news straight ahead.